Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And what a game that was down the wire. Talk about cardiac Knicks, as the New York Knicks just came out victorious versus the Atlanta Hawks. In Atlanta, the final score being 116 to 114. This was the second time the New York Knicks have taken on the Atlanta Hawks this season, and the second time that it's been on the road. The next time the Knicks actually play the Hawks is going to be in Madison Square Garden on TNT. National television, so everyone's going to be locked into that basketball game. So with this New York Knicks win down the wire, a scary one, a win is a win, the final score being 116 to 114, the New York Knicks are over 500 with a 6-5 record, and RJ Barrett obviously continues to be out when it comes to that migraine, and migraines can be serious. I know a lot of people think, oh, he's not playing because he has a hurt head or like he has a headache. Like, no, like they could really suck. I don't know the severity of his migraine, but you could be throwing up. You have to make sure that you're in a dark room. But RJ Barrett was at this game with a hoodie on, with the slippers on, like his hoodie up. I would have liked to see him chilling, watching this game at home, in like a bat cave. Like, I want it to be as dark as possible because this game almost gave me a freaking migraine the way this New York Knicks team was playing tonight. But the New York Knicks stepped up when it mattered most, and they have a couple winnable games coming up. But you want to have a one game at a time mentality. You do not want to be looking too much into the future. Got to focus on your game plan. You have to come in and just come in ready to go, because we play the Wizards next and we play the Hornets. So those are definitely some winnable games. So if we can get RJ back to raise the ceiling of this team and go up, go a few games above 500 with an 8-5 record, that would definitely be encouraging. But talk about a tale of two halves. We're talking about a tale of quarters in this New York Knicks game. And this is a kind of a different Hawks team, because before, when we took on the Atlanta Hawks, they actually had Sadiq Bey, the Villanova product, in the starting lineup, but they made a change with Jalen Johnson being in the starting lineup. And shout out to him. He's been playing some good basketball. He showed some progression since the Duke days. There's some questions about his attitude. How much does he really want it? And it looks like he really wants it in a Hawks uniform. He's expanded his game out to the three-point line, being a 28% three-point shooter last year to being a damn near 40% three-point shooter this year. And he was one of the main reasons they're in this game in the first quarter. So he's inserted into the starting lineup. And then you have Sadiq Bey coming off the bench. And thanks to Jalen Johnson, he was one of the main reasons this was a competitive game for the Atlanta Hawks when it came to the first quarter. Yes, the New York Knicks were up 10 in that first, but if it wasn't for him knocking down a couple three balls, working down the lane, this could have been a totally different outcome when it came to momentum swinging into the Atlanta Hawks' favor in that second quarter. But the first quarter was so much fun to watch. Missed possession, who's there on the offensive glass already? Mitchell freaking Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson continues to play like this when it comes to the defensive end, rebound the basketball, just continuing to be a beast on the offensive rebounds, rolling to the basket very strong. Julius Randle found him, and I thought in a pretty big moment when it came to the end of that second quarter, even though we're only up one. But Mitchell Robinson, offensive rebound, kept Clint Capella in check. You know how many rebounds Clint Capella had? 4. Veteran center, pretty damn solid player in this league. Only 4 rebounds for Clint Capella. There was one breakdown defensively. I believe Hartenstein was in the game, not Mitchell Robinson. That Trae Young was able to find Clint Capella for an alley-oop in the second half. But Mitchell Robinson had a few steals. I believe he had 3 steals. He had 1 block, but it was such a pivotal block on DeJounte Murray in that fourth quarter, because the way this game was back and forth, your room for error was just like this much. You could barely make an error in this game. You had to make sure you capitalized from the free throw line. And the New York Knicks had a good game from beyond the arc and from the free throw line. But Mitchell Robinson, 15 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds was such a huge key for the New York Knicks' success. When they had a stagnant offensive possession, you can count on Julius Randle for an offensive rebound. Tippin. Mitchell Robinson, tipping. Josh Hart, offensive board. Mitchell Robinson diving on the floor. The New York Knicks played with so much heart tonight. It was ridiculous. But the first quarter, Julius Randle, 14 points. He's attacking. And I love the Julius Randle we got throughout this game. The patience of when he was in the interior, the up fake to put it up and in, count it, and the foul three-point play. Took 5 threes. I thought he had a good shot diet. He distributed the ball well. He crashed the glass. He competed offensively. I was really proud of the way Julius Randle played. 29 points, 10 assists. 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Efficient night. Made some key plays in this game. He was our most consistent player for 4 quarters of basketball. So he set the tone, posting up Jalen Johnson for a fadeaway jumper. Jalen Brunson, he did a good job in that first quarter as well, but he was inconsistent for a couple quarters. But why do we love Jalen Brunson? He is mentally tough as shit. He's a Villanova guard. He grew up a Knicks fan. He knows what it's about. like playing in New York. His father played for the New York Knicks. He understands the bright lights. This dude is just an assassin. This dude is cold-blooded. But in the first quarter, he played well. We're going to be getting into the negative, but then obviously he overcame the adversity. But you have Randall that's distributing the basketball, competing defensively, scoring. You have Jalen Brunson, who I actually thought he held his own versus DeJounte Murray in that first quarter defensively. But Brunson, snatch back, crossover on DeJounte Murray, top of the key, splash, 4 assists. So he had 8 points, he had 4 assists. Quentin Grimes got involved with the 3-ball. He actually left this game in the second half when it came to a hand injury. So we'll see what the defense looks like moving forward if Grimes is out with some time. Hopefully he didn't break his hand or anything like that. But Mitchell Robinson doing his thing. Trae Young's being kept in check. And he was actually kept in check throughout this game. DeAndre Hunter wasn't even double digits. I believe he had 4 points in this game. He had 1 3. It felt like DeAndre Hunter made no impact on this basketball game. But the thing was, even though Trae Young didn't make a 3, even though he didn't reach 20 points, he still had 17 assists. He still makes an impact distributing the basketball, but at the end of the day, he's not a very high-quality defender, so we were able to take care of that. But in the first quarter, we were up 10. Jalen Johnson was getting his. But at the end of the day, there was no other contributing factors. But another guy stepped up for the Atlanta Hawks that we're going to be getting into. But the second quarter was a disaster. It was really bad. I thought Jalen Brunson was starting to press. He wasn't in rhythm. He was missing shots he usually makes. Outside of Julius Randle, no one was consistently stepping up. That's why we only had a 1-point lead when it came to half. But the way we were able to keep that lead, Julius Randle offensive rebound, put it up and in. Julius Randle, great connection with Mitch Robinson, alley-oop slam. So when it came to offensive rebounds and Julius Randle, they really kept us in this game because when it came to Saddiq Bey, he contributed coming off the bench. Jalen Johnson, as a starter, played very well. Bogdanovich killed us. Bogdanovich, we've seen what he's capable of in the playoffs. He had 28 points coming off the bench, but then he had a mental error at the end of the game. We're up 3. There's plenty of time. There's 8 seconds left for them to get their final shot. He acted like there was 8 milliseconds left. Inbounds to basketball. Bogdanovich chucks up a terrible shot. But it wasn't just that the Hawks were better defensively making adjustments, that their offense was clicking more, making threes. The Knicks hurt themselves. The Knicks really hurt themselves, but shout out to Emmanuel Quickly, 20 points off the bench. We needed that type of production. It's great to get the gritty points or get the offensive rebounds, but we needed Quickly out of a big game, and he did. He had a huge 3. He was amazing in that fourth quarter, 10 points in that fourth quarter, but the turnovers hurt us. The Knicks were so careless with the basketball. We went from 0 turnovers in that first quarter to that second quarter through the fourth quarter, we combined for 17 turnovers. You can't have 17 turnovers. That's really unacceptable. So when it came to the third quarter, I actually think someone that should get some recognition, because we can talk about Brunson hitting up Julius Randle quickly. At the start of that third quarter, when we were only up 1, obviously at half, give credit to Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes hits 2 straight threes in that third quarter before he goes on to get hurt. I believe he gets hurt at the end of that third quarter. Collision with the hand, reaching in transition. It was a foul. It didn't look that bad, but then you never know what someone's really going through when it comes to pain. But Grimes ended up hitting a couple threes. I'm like, that's a good sign to really get us into some rhythm early. But I love Randall's up fake, having the and-1. Randall did a good job getting the defense to collapse, kicking it outside of the perimeter for Brunson to knock down a 3. At a sequence, he knocked down a couple threes. But when it looks like the Knicks are trying to build some momentum, we have like the 6-7 point lead. I'm like, let's run away with this thing. Let's take this crowd out of it. Let's make sure they have no momentum. We found Bogdanovich at the 3-point line. That hurt. So they're like, Saddiq Bey was still playing well. You had Jalen Johnson who had nearly 20 points in this game. Trae Young was starting to get some dribble penetration going, even though his free ball wasn't falling. DeAndre Hunter starting to play some solid defense. Brunson, outside the threes, he was still he had a very nice move that he went on to miss a shot. But again, the offensive rebounds were so huge. But one of the key factors in this basketball game, Emmanuel Quickly hit a 3 from the freaking parking lot. But the Hawks were just able to respond. When it came to the fourth quarter, because we were up 6 entering the fourth quarter, DeJounte Murray, it felt like you didn't really hear his name all night, and then he started to cook in the fourth quarter. Maybe they schemed things open more for DeJounte Murray to score the basketball. Trae Young was able to draw fouls more and open things up because he blew by quickly on one play that he got to the fourth quarter. But this game really came down to the final 2-3 minutes of making sure you get the 50-50 balls, and the Knicks played their hearts out. This became a really sloppy game. In that fourth quarter, when it was really stagnant offensively, again, it came to every little possession because we're still turning the ball over in the third. I'm like, how are the adjustments going to be here in the fourth quarter? Brunson, does he just not have it tonight? He wasn't shooting very efficient. He's kind of stopped moving the ball and was pressing a little bit. Can we just count on Randall in that fourth quarter? But luckily, or not luckily, they stepped up. Emmanuel quickly, 10 points in that fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson, 10 points in that fourth quarter. Julius Randle knocked down a three as well. There was just such a key play as well when Brunson could have been unselfish, looked to score. He ended up dumping it off to Julius Randle in the interior. Josh Hart set the tone with so much energy, forcing a jump ball, hitting a mid-range jumper not too long after. Bogdanovich, he got to the free throw line. Jalen Johnson worked down the lane. Trae Young is able to get to the cup. But at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson was too much when it mattered most for them, and Emmanuel quickly getting to the floater, hitting a big time three. I thought he played patient. I thought he played poised out there on the basketball floor, getting offensive rebounds. Josh Hart, a huge offensive rebound. Mitchell Robinson just diving on the floor. Josh Hart ends up with it, kicks it to Brunson, get a lead back because the Hawks were just really able to contribute offensively, but also we were really sloppy, you could say, when it came to taking care of the basketball and defensively at times as well. But Jalen Brunson just stepped up when it mattered most. Huge three in the corner, huge three top of the key, huge isolating on DeAndre Hunter. It didn't look like he was in good defensive stance. Brunson, good in and out crossover to get to the mid range to actually put us up 3 points when it came to 13 seconds left. But I don't know what Bogdanovich was thinking when there was 8 seconds left in. He just shot the ball right away. That was just bad execution. But Trae Young, he got fouled at the 3-point line, which I thought was a terrible call. When it looked like we're starting to go away with this. But it ended up only being a 1-point game. It could have been tied if Trae Young actually made one of his free throws when it came to him shooting 3 free throws, but he actually missed one. Again, your room for error was just so small in this game. You just really couldn't miss your free throws. The Knicks did. Shout out to the Knicks for that. But you had Trae Young that went to the free throw line again, and then he missed one. And when DeJounte Murray was starting to cook in that fourth quarter, when Trae Young was getting to the free throw line, when Brunson, after he hit a three, or after the Knicks were getting big time buckets down the stretch, the big time defensive changing moment was it was like the first team to get a defensive stop is going to win this game. And DeJounte Murray works down the lane, and Mitchell Robinson has a huge block in that fourth quarter. But this was a great game. Quickly stepping up in the fourth. Brunson, it was sloppy, got to take care of the ball. But we saw that this team can overcome adversity and that they fight their ass off. They really fight their ass off. Let me know down below your thoughts on this game. Peace out, y'all.